Hi guys, I'm Dawn Myers and I will be the instructor for this Introduction to Sociology course this semester. I've never done this before. I've never done a recording to go over the course guide, but I'm learning that my students on campus seem to grasp the expectations of the course more easily than my online students. So I thought I would try to go through the course guide with you and see if that helps. So if you pull up the course guide, it'll be in the first module of Canvas. You can see it here, but it'll always be there for the duration of the semester so that you can go back and take a look at it if necessary. So this is a 16-week course and it runs from January 14th to May 1st. You can see my credentials here. This is my office phone number and my cell phone number. It's really better to reach me on my cell, and I would appreciate if you would text me first rather than calling, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. My email address is here. And please communicate via the Canvas tab, the inbox there. That's a lot more efficient than just going through the San Juan College email. If we ever need to set up a time for advising, my office is in the West Classroom Complex in room 1868, and I try to reserve the time Monday through Thursday from 1 to 3 to meet with students, or on Friday mornings by appointment. Generally, we can just resolve any questions, comments, or concerns you might have via email or through a telephonic conference. So this is an online course, and in this course, we are going to be covering the sociological perspective, theories, and methods related to sociology. We will cover the topics of culture, socialization, social interaction, sexuality, deviance, gender, race and ethnicity, and family and religion. By the time this course concludes, you should be able to identify and define the major theories of sociology, demonstrate an increased awareness of sociology and the related sociologists, and understand the interrelationships of the major theories of sociology. You will be demonstrating all of this through a midterm project and a final paper that I will go over here in just a moment. This class is worth 3 credit hours. Okay. The text that you should have purchased is by Diana Kendall. It is Cengage Publishing, titled Sociology in Our Times, The Essentials. This is a bundle, which means it comes with a book and access code for the online learning. This section of the course guide talks about Cengage Unlimited. If you are taking other courses that are using Cengage books, Cengage has given an opportunity for you to buy Cengage Unlimited for $120. And that would cover all of your courses this semester that are using Cengage books. Down here it tells you that if you do subscribe to the Cengage Unlimited, you can also get a printed copy of the book, and you just pay $7.99 for shipping. If you buy the bundle from the San Juan College bookstore, it's going to have a loose leaf book and the online access code for you. The rest of this is just some information about Cengage, but I wanted to pause here because I want you to understand why we're using MindTap in case you haven't used it in any other courses. It really helps students learn. I feel like there's only so much you can learn by reading the textbook. MindTap has activities that will help you better understand what is being said in the textbook. At the top of your Canvas page in the first module, you'll see that I have actually embedded the MindTap book and online learning system so that you only have to go to Canvas. You don't have to log in anywhere else. If you go to that first module and click on the MindTap link, it will tell you how to register for the course. This talks to you about payment. Generally, Cengage gives you a grace period for a free trial in case your financial aid is not in order yet or your finances, you haven't gotten paid. It'll give you about a week or so to use MindTap free of charge, but you will have to register and pay for it after that. It's important that you have access to Chrome or Safari or Firefox. For some reason, Internet Explorer does not work that well for MindTap or for Canvas. When you are submitting papers, which will likely only be your midterm and your final, you need to submit those papers in a Word document. If you use Pages, I cannot open that document, so please keep that in mind. I always like to encourage my students to keep all of their work on a flash drive. In the event that your computer crashes, you will still have all of the work that you need for the course on a flash drive. This portion of the course guide just gives you all of the technical support links that you might need. Course requirements. I encourage you to check in to Canvas and MindTap several times a week just to make sure that you are well informed of the assignments and when they are due. There will be assignments in Canvas and in MindTap. In Canvas, primarily, you will be working in discussion forum modules, and then, of course, you will submit your midterm and your final in Canvas. The midterm is a sociological observation, as is the final, and I'll talk about that more thoroughly in just a minute. This course has an honor service learning component to it. You might have noticed that when you registered. I am very passionate about service learning and honor service learning. It is important to stand out from your peers. Before I was teaching here at San Juan College, I was a juvenile probation officer here in San Juan County, and I had many students from San Juan College come work with us who were doing honor service learning. When it comes time to hire people, employers want to hire those students who have done the extra work. And when you sign up for honor service learning courses, that demonstrates to an employer that you have indeed done the extra work. San Juan College requires 12 honor service learning credit hours and a grade point average of 3.25 in order to graduate with honors from the institution. For this particular course, honors would require you to complete 10 hours of service learning at an agency of your choice. If you choose to register for honors service learning, you will submit a proposal to me as to where you're going to complete your service learning, why you chose that particular agency, what you hope to learn during your service learning, and what you already know about that agency. Include who the supervisor is and when they told you you could start your service learning there. I would like to have your proposal by January 27th. Again, this is not a requirement for this course, but this is an opportunity for you via this course. Additionally, you must submit your service learning registration form to the Student Achievement Center. I can email the form to you if you are going to participate in honors service learning, or you can pick it up from the Student Achievement Center. Once you have completed your 10 hours of service learning, you will submit a PowerPoint presentation. Whether one student registers for honor service learning or multiple students register, I would like you to craft a PowerPoint presentation that I can post for your peers to see. In that presentation, you will include 4 separate concepts that you've learned from the course and 1 sociological theory of your choice. This assignment, as with all assignments in this course, requires college level writing and grammar. If you need assistance, you should go to the tutoring center. We have free services at the tutoring center, and students who use those services have historically improved their writing immensely. If you do not write at a college level, I will have to reduce your score on any assignment by 10%. This final assignment will be due on Wednesday, May 1st. I made a note here to you, if you do choose to do the honor service learning, you can also use that experience to write your midterm and or final paper. Participation and attendance policy. You must check Canvas and MindTap several times weekly to stay up to date. I already noted that above. Your written work, which means your discussion forums, your midterm paper, and your final paper must meet college level grammar and writing style. You will have homework in MindTap and Canvas every week. You will have discussion forums over the chapter that we're covering for that week. If you have never participated in a discussion forum, I have outlined all of the expectations here for you. So every week you should go to Canvas and look for the discussion forum. I like the discussion forum because it gives the class a classroom feel. If we didn't have discussion forums and you were just turning in assignments to me, it would be more like an independent study. The discussion forums really help students feel like they are in a classroom environment. When you are writing in the discussion forum, you should think critically. The words that you are submitting should be of high quality. You should really think through what you are going to say in response to the writing prompt. It's helpful for students to type out their response in a Word document and then copy and paste that into the discussion forum. Here it tells you that you must demonstrate a careful thought process and supporting evidence. You should include several supporting details or conclusions. You may include your opinion if your opinion is supported by what you have read in the chapter or what you have read elsewhere for that matter. Post an initial response to the question posed by Friday at 11:59 p.m. This will be very consistent. Every week, your initial post will be due by midnight on Friday. This way, you will have 2 days until Sunday at midnight to reply to your colleagues' posts. Use professional language. Use professional vocabulary. You are not writing a quick note. You are not sending a text message to your best friend. Use professional college level writing. All of your posts must include referencing and citing the textbook. So, for example, if we were talking about the conflict perspective, you might define what the conflict perspective is. According to conflict perspectives, groups in society are engaged in a continuous power struggle for control of scarce resources. The citation will use the author's last name, which is Kendall, and the page number where you found the information. Or if you are only using the ebook in MindTap, you can just cite using the section number where you found the information. Yes, you are welcome to use additional resources, but you do not have to. You do have to cite the chapter that we're working in for every discussion forum. By Sunday night, you will reply to 2 of your class colleagues' posts. I would appreciate it if you would choose one person who has not had a reply yet. That way, everybody's initial post will have a reply. It's also beneficial if you don't reply to the same people over and over so that you are reading other students' work, and this way you are learning from each other. In your reply, please do not say something like, way to go or that doesn't make any sense, make sure that you back up your reply with some substance, please. Here, I just give you some tips for creating strong contributions. You might take something that your colleague said, you could put that in quotes if you wanted to, and then respond to that. You might clarify something that the writer said. You can say, I agree with you, or I don't agree with you, but you must say, and this is why. You do not have to list citations in your replies if you don't want to. It's not necessary, but you certainly can if you think that makes your reply a little bit stronger. Dialogue in the discussion forums. Some of the issues are sensitive. You never know what another colleague is going through or what their past experiences are. So be sensitive when you are replying to your colleagues. Obviously, or it should be obvious, racist, sexist, or homophobic remarks will not be tolerated. I would like to see you learning from each other. I don't mind if you disagree with each other, that's okay, but let's find a way to state that in a diplomatic manner. Okay, so for the most part, the course will cover activities in MindTap and discussion forums in Canvas. You do have two major projects. One is your midterm sociological observation paper, and the other one will be your final. They are almost identical, except that the midterm will require less than the final will. So the purpose of the papers are so that you can practice being a sociologist and so that you can demonstrate to me a clear understanding of the sociological theories and the sociological concepts that we're covering in this course. The four main sociological theories are functionalism, conflict theory, symbolic interaction, and postmodernism. Your assignment is to choose a venue, a place, a location, a situation to observe, and then to analyze as a sociologist would. So the sociological perspective forces you to stand outside the situation and look at it through a sociological lens. And you will learn this. This might not make sense to you today, but you'll learn this as we go. For the midterm, I want you to observe a situation that you are familiar with. So you might choose, down here I gave you some ideas. Maybe you will observe a church service that you regularly attend, but you'll be thinking about it through the sociological perspective. Maybe you'll go to the salon where you always get your nails done, or the barber shop where you regularly go, or your child's sporting event. You might go to Walmart if that's someplace you frequent, or Smith's, or your favorite restaurant, Starbucks, Durango Joe's. Go somewhere that you have gone before several times. I want you to take a look at what's going on there. Up here, I suggest that you stay for a minimum of an hour. Take notes about what you are observing there. Those notes should include things like, are there more men or women there? Are there more single people or families there? Are there different cultures being demonstrated there? Take notes about everything that you are observing. Here is the grading matrix that you should definitely adhere to. Go through the grading matrix and make sure that you understand what is required here. So the first thing that you're going to do at about week 4 is submit a brief proposal as to where you plan to conduct your observation. Just one paragraph saying, I plan to conduct my observation for the midterm project at my regular church service. Make sure that when you write the paper, you are using double space and 12-point font. Again, You must have college level grammar and writing style. I cannot emphasize that enough. In fact, I say this is non-negotiable here in the course guide. The paper will reflect quality analysis and thought using the sociological concepts and tools that we have learned. So this is where you will see that the requirements for the midterm are about half of that for the final, simply because we will not have covered as much material by the midterm. Start your paper out with an introduction explaining how this location is familiar to you. This is the church that I attend. I have attended this church for 10 years or for 6 months. And I always go to the 11 o'clock service, because just a thorough paragraph introducing why you chose the location that you did. During the paper, you need to discuss and reflect on 2 of the 4 major sociological theories. Again, here are the 4 theories. For the purpose of the midterm, you only have to choose 2 of the sociological theories. The point here is for you to be able to look back at your observations, read over your paper, and explain to me what a conflict theorist would say about what you observed, or what a functionalist theorist would say about what you observed. When discussing the theories and the below concepts, you must highlight them or underline or italicize or bold them. This really will help you keep on track. You'll be able to see by quickly looking at your paper that you have covered all of the required concepts. So in addition to the 2 major sociological theories that we just talked about, you must include these concepts: culture, subculture, norms, symbols, language, values, social interaction, and socialization. At this point, none of this might make sense to you, but as we go through the chapters, it will make sense to you. All of these concepts will be covered in the first 4 chapters. The total points for this midterm paper are 100. The final sociological observation project, it begins exactly the same as the other one, except this venue must be something you are completely unfamiliar with, something you have never done before. So some students, if they generally attend a Pentecostal church, will choose perhaps to go to a Catholic service or to a Latter-day Saints service, something that's different. Other ideas that are listed down here are, if you have never been to court, if you've never been a defendant in a court case, maybe you would like to go to district court and see how that operates, or magistrate court. If you've never been to a professional sporting event, maybe that's something you'll have the opportunity to do this semester and you'd like to write about that, or a concert. If you have never gone to a senior citizen center, this is something that a lot of students will choose, particularly if they're doing the honors service learning portion. Go to a senior center, see what that looks like. If you've never gone to the Shiprock Fair or to a rodeo or to a powwow, I don't know what's going to be going on this semester, but you could choose something like that. A political rally. You could go sit in the emergency room of a hospital. That's always exciting. You can also go to a store or a restaurant that you have never patronized. So maybe you're going to go out of town this semester and you're going to be able to go to a store or a restaurant that we don't have here. Any of those venues would be appropriate. Again, you will submit a proposal telling me where you plan to go. If you have concerns that you're not choosing a good venue, just contact me and we can talk about it. Again, you're going to have an introduction explaining how the location is an unfamiliar territory for you. Here, in the final paper, you must discuss all 4 of the theories: functionalism, conflict, symbolic interactionism, and postmodernism. So again, you're going to explain to me what a functional sociologist or conflict sociologist, symbolic interaction, or postmodern, what would they say about your observations? Then you will, again, I have here, highlight, underline, italicize, or bold all of the concepts. Here you have a lot more concepts that you need to include in your paper. Sociological imagination, culture, subculture, symbols, language, values. You can decide to discuss norms or mores or folkways. You don't have to do all three, although you certainly can. Taboos or sanctions, socialization, ascribed status, or achieved status. All of these are required. Then I list 15 more concepts here, and you can choose 7. So you do not have to use all 15 here. You can choose 7 of the 15 that are listed here. Total points for this project, 205, quite a bit more than the midterm. Class participation and expectations. Again, check Canvas and MindTap regularly to make sure that you're up to date on assignments and when they're due. Each assignment has a corresponding due date and time. I do not accept late work. I know that students often cringe when they hear that, but it is important to not accept late work, and these are the reasons that I've listed here. It's not fair to the rest of the students who will submit all of their work on time. It is nearly impossible for me to try to keep up with and keep track of late submissions because I do teach at a minimum 6 classes every semester. And so that's a lot of students. If I was trying to keep track of all of the late work, it just becomes an impossibility. Finally, and maybe most importantly, I am not helping you to prepare for your other coursework here at San Juan College, or when you go on to higher learning for your bachelor's and master's, or even for the workplace. I am not doing you any favors if I accept late work, because let's face it, an employer does not accept employees coming in late to work. However, please notice here, if a catastrophic, life-changing event occurs, I will work with you. So contact me immediately if you have some unfortunate life event that would keep you from submitting your work on time. I will make every effort to return voice messages, text messages, and emails within 24 hours. Honestly, if it's a text message or a voice message, I will probably return that much more quickly than an email. So if you have an immediate need, text me and I'll get back with you just as soon as I can. Regarding your grades in Canvas in the grade book, I will make sure that I have those grades entered into Canvas within 7 days of it being submitted and of the due date. I know how important it is to students to get feedback. This is a 3-credit online course, and generally that requires about 9 hours a week of work. This class should be no different. In the gradebook in Canvas, you will note that the work that you do in MindTap is worth 25% of your overall grade. Your final project and midterm is worth 40% of your grade. And your discussion forums, let me just add midterm here, I didn't do that before, will include, the discussions will be worth 35% of your grade. So 25% for all of the work in MindTap, which are the activities and the chapter quizzes, 40% for the midterm and final project, and 35% for the discussion forums. Here is just a grading scale. General 90 to 100% is an A. Remember that earning a D at the college level usually does not give you credit for the course. I've listed some important dates to remember. Here we go. Class begins on January 14th. It ends on May 1st. If you are going to change into honors, you need to do that by February 1st, and I cannot implore you enough to register for honors. President's Day doesn't affect you because you're not on campus, or this is not an on-campus course. Spring break is the week of the 18th of March. Final exams will be held between May 2nd and the 8th. And final grades will be uploaded into WebAdvisor by 3 p.m. on May 9th. Graduation is on May 11th this year. The rest of this document outlines all of the college policies, including drop for non-attendance, what the expectations are for class attendance and participation. A lot of college policies here that are here for you to read. Student handbook link is here. Student services and support link and academic support. So I've never done this before. Like I said in the beginning, I do hope that this video will be beneficial to you. I know that it is not all inclusive. So if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns as we go on through the semester, absolutely do not hesitate to contact me. Send me a text if it's an immediate need. Send me an email if it's not so urgent, and I will get back to you just as soon as I can. Also, just because this is an online class doesn't mean that we can't meet during my office hours if necessary. I will be available to you. So I'm looking forward to a successful semester. I do hope that you find this to be a very positive learning experience. Talk to you next time.